Hello, welcome back to Auto Pop Culture, and this is part 2 of Avengers and Endgame review of the movie. So where I left off was the huge battle that happened in the end. Oh my god, there was so much that happened, and now that I have the second half, we can actually go into detail more about it. So where I left off is that the other half of the Avengers came in. So the Asgardians, the Wakandans, the Ravengers, the restored Avengers, and on top of the Doctor Strange and his sorcerers. So we have those people, and they're all going in, and even Captain Marvel has come through, and it's just a shit ton of people, and it was super cute to see like Spider-Man show up, and it's just like, oh, like he's here, you know, and this part was literally my biggest, like, I had to say the most heartwarming moment, where you see that everybody comes back, because they keep a huge delay of it before they come back, and they come back just the perfect timing. Oh my god, it was really good. But on top of that, that's barely what happens. Like, so there's a time that Thor is fighting, which is, by the way, Thor is fighting exactly the way that he usually does. Like, it's not like Thor is kind of slower now that he's bigger. Like, he's just as fast, he's just as powerful, and I think that's the best thing about it. And I know that people have been complaining over the fact that they don't like the fact that maybe they're making fun of him being big, but I think they give him the whole premise of what it is like being that size and being who he is and having depression and everything. They hit on every single bit of it, and I like that. And I like the fact that they also hit in the idea that he, even though is that weight, that he does not stop, that he's still able to do other things. He's still able to do what he usually does. Like, it makes you, it shows you that weight, though his weight isn't the problem, it's more of his mental health is the problem. And now that he's talked to his mom and he's got his hammer back, he definitely has built his confidence back. You can totally see it. But during the time where he was fighting Thanos, there's a part where Thanos was digging in the axe hammer into him, and then the Mjolnir, like, shoots past him and lands in fucking Captain America's hand, which is interesting because we would see in the Age of Ultron it slightly moves, which gives you a nod to, like, oh, this is something that's may happen, and it does happen. It's a little more. There's no build to it. He literally just holds it and knows exactly what to do with it, which is very interesting. Other than maybe that we can run with the fact that he's been seeing Thor use it all the time, so maybe he's picking up of how he uses it and just kind of just going for it. And I was like, okay, I'm assuming that when he lays his hammer down, lightning comes out, and when he puts his hammer up, lightning shoots to it. Like, I'm assuming he's been seeing it happen on and on, that he's assuming that's just how it's gonna be. So he's fighting them, and it gets to the point where he's just like, they're just pretty much just trying to send the stones in the gauntlet over to, like, whoever can take it. I think we're sending it to Iron Man, but I think the goal is to send it over to whoever is on the other side. I think it's Iron Man I need to see it again, but I think it's Iron Man is what they're trying to send it to. But you have Spider-Man, it's bouncing through with it and everything, and you almost think that he's gonna grab it and use it, but he does not. But we send it over to, we get it near Iron Man, but of course Thanos, like, is just defeating everybody left to right, because he's very powerful even without the gauntlet, which is kind of cool. Makes him even more dangerous, I felt like, when you saw that he is just as hard to defeat as he was when he had the gauntlet in his hand. So finally he finally gets the gauntlet with him, but he doesn't get to use it because by the time he has it, like, Iron Man jumps onto him and just holds the gauntlet the whole time. And but I also like the fact that Captain Marvel also tried to go after him, and even with Captain Marvel, he was able to defeat Captain Marvel as well, like throwing her across the whole thing, which shows it's just like he's a very, very formidable villain, you know, like he's that villain, you know. And I know, and it's interesting because like we always seen like him as somebody that like sees that we see Captain Marvel sometimes like just undefeated. She kind of walks like one critical thing I have is that she doesn't have vulnerability like Thor does when he's powerful, but he understands like there's a lot of levels to him, where I don't really feel like Captain Marvel has really much levels other than mad, determined, feeling badass, and a couple smiles here and there, like when she's being like friendly here and there. But I feel like she's a little more empowering than she is being like a human up in like a fully rounded human, you know. And maybe that'll change. Maybe now that she's the forefront person now of Avengers or of Marvel MCU, that maybe they're gonna expand her like every aspect of her good, her bad, her weak spots, her strong spots, you know, who she is, like her vulnerability is what I definitely want to see. But that was kind of interesting. That was a good start of it, by seeing her get defeated by that, or get like couldn't even hold down Thanos as well. So we know that. And then while Iron Man is trying to hold on to the gauntlet, he gets thrown off, and Thanos in the end, he's like, I am inevitable. And he snaps his fingers, nothing happens. And all of a sudden, you look over to Tony, and he fucking has, it's kind of cool. Actually, it's very interesting. Like, once again, we don't really see how this happens, but it's very interesting. The stones, like, creep up to his arm, and then it finally, like, forms into a full gauntlet, and he gets the powers coming through. And he's like, and I am Iron Man, and he snaps his fingers, and all of them starts like all the like Thanos and the crew starts like vaporizing slowly at a time, and it's just insane. It's completely insane. During a time though, which is completely expected, that he can handle it since is a human himself. So he gets completely, half his part is like completely burnt, but I do like the fact that we get our complete goodbyes from Peter, who says like, we won, and I feel like that's exactly what Tony wanted to know. Like, did we win? Like, you know. But I feel like instead of saying goodbye and this whole like, I love you, please don't go, like, it seems like what they gave him was like, it's okay to let go. Like, you did it. You've sacrificed so much for yourself. Like, and especially with Pot saying like, we're gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. We're all okay. Like, you can rest now. And I like that because Iron Man is that person. He will not rest. And so because that's what he thought. That's what the thought he had was like, he wants a metal like shield around the world, and it's so ambitious to have that thought, and it's just like he's overly protective, you know. And so now that and I'm sure even in his like near death, he still wants to protect as much as possible, and I think that Pot sees that, and she's like, you can let go, like, everything's gonna be fine. I'm gonna be safe. You really saved everybody. Like, we're good to go. We can so you can survive without you. You know, you can finally rest, and he does. And it's really, really sad. It's one of the sad moments. And then we get his funeral, which is really nice. And it's awkward. It's really awkward because the whoever did the outfits for the funeral is very awkward for me, because everybody's crying around me, and I'm just like, fuck, those outfits look fucking fierce. Like, like fucking Captain Marvel's like black dress, fucking amazing. She looked like, oh, it wasn't a dress. It was more like I don't know. It looked super cute. It was super cute. Scarlet Witch looked fucking amazing. Everybody looked amazing. But I totally get it. And I know, and I've had a spoiler that the kid from Iron Man 3, Iron Man 3 had a whole, like, thing, like, appearance there, which is, I couldn't really, I personally, when I watched it, after I knew the trailer, like, I knew the spoiler before I came into it, so when I saw it, I was like, I wouldn't really recognize him if I knew that he was in it. what else? Yeah, so that happened. I was very interested to see that Natasha didn't get a funeral, or at least had like some water thing that was like going down, some water thing that was like floating with Tony, you know. But I guess there's a difference between all of that. So with that ending wraps around with Valkyrie becoming the queen of Asgard in the new Asgard area. Thor goes off with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm assuming we have Gamora. I don't remember seeing Gamora after the whole snap. I think after the snap, it was kind of just up in the air where she was. But I'm assuming Gamora's in it now. The past one, which is kind of funny because she hasn't fell in love with Quill, so we have this whole chase that's going to happen once again around, so it's kind of interesting. But she does have a complete change of heart how she feels about Thanos and everything, so it's already a step up, so we can almost kind of continue where we left off pretty much with Guardians of Galaxy Volume 3 with the additional with Thor, which is I'm not really sure how the chemistry is going to go when we already have a hot Quill going on, superhero like him, and then we have Thor, which is more like jokey and relaxing. I don't know, but there's very they're very like macho people, so it'll be interesting to see who takes over as the mainly between them, or is Thor kind of coming in and out of it. You don't really know, like, or they're gonna have it where they just kind of all have their own parts, you know, like Avengers, you know. So Steve Rogers decides to take the stones and return them back to their proper places, because the Ancient One did say that if those stones are not replaced back to where we were after the whole thing, it causes different types of alternative realities. So he returns them all. But one thing he did not return is him himself does not return. He decides to stay his whole life with, majority of his life with Peggy Carter, but instead he does come back eventually, because if you remember, they were sitting them back in the machine. It was like this handmade machine that they made already. And he did that one, but when he disappeared, he reappeared on a bench next to a lake down the way. And so with the shield, and he handed the shield, like he said he has a beautiful life with Peggy, but he's not Captain America anymore, and he's like older now. And he gives his shield over to Falcon, which is, by the way, this whole exit I didn't really care for. I felt like, first of all, Falcon is a good friend, but we met him in Winter Soldier, and that was it. Like, I felt like Bucky was the original best friend from the get-go, and we kind of just threw him to the side after a while, and it's like, if I remember reading the comics, because I definitely had the comics of Captain America, and I remember they had... Bucky was the main person. Like, Falcon was in it, but I felt like Bucky was, like, the soul of of who Captain America was. I do understand why Bucky allowed Falcon to have the shield, or said, like, go to him and everything, like it was supposed to be, like, something special. I don't know. Like, I feel like I know... There's a comic with Bucky being the new Captain America, but there's also a comic with Falcon being the new Captain America. So just like, it's really could go either way. I'm sure they picked Falcon for the praise of the fact that he's a POC person. Is my petty side is what I think it is, or the fact that maybe they just got closer over the time more than Bucky did, because since he was in and out, and he got his arm cut off, so he had to get that fixed and everything. I don't know. Like, it was a little choppy of how the whole thought of them picking Falcon over Bucky or something like that. But I do know that they're supposed to have a TV spinoff that's Bucky and Falcon. which is kind of cool because I hope that what's going to happen is that they kind of trade off with the shield, like, so because Bucky has used the shield, Falcon has not used the shield yet, so that's why I thought like they're gearing on to Bucky being a Captain America, but maybe it's the both thing where he'll throw his shield to Bucky will catch it and use it and so like that, and it kind of reacts to both of them now, and maybe together they're Captain America, because they have the both aspects of what Captain America stands for. So that pretty much ended it with that time. Oh no, it ended with Captain America's dancing with Peggy and back in the time, and it was really, really cute. That was another heartwarming because he actually finally got his dance. And it was so beautiful. It was completely beautiful. And I love the ending I love the credits too, because it pretty much had like all the characters like sign off their name. It's just kind of pretty much saying goodbye. Like, this is the end of an era, or phase 2. I think it's 2, phase 2. So now we're moving into phase 3, and it's just like or I could have it wrong. It might be phase 2 or phase 3 to phase 4, one or two. So we're moving to a new phase. And so it was a lot. It was a lot emotionally, but it wrapped up every single thing that I was looking for to wrap up, and it did. And now we have a beautiful Hulk that's gonna walk around with like, that has the mind of Banner, and we have Thor that's going to the Guardians of the Galaxy. Iron Man is dead. Peter Parker is gonna have his Far Away from Home, which we're gonna experience in that side of how he's dealing with Iron Man being gone. Who else we left with? Nebula, I'm assuming, just joining with the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a lot of people now. And Barton goes back to his family, and who else? Scott goes back to his family, who now has an older like daughter. We're completely missed the growth part, so maybe she's like now 14 now, maybe 12. So she's getting her teen years. So that's kind of an awkward moment for like him to kind of get in. So I'm wondering to see how that works out. I don't know if they're having a Ant-Man 3 or Ant-Man and Wasp 3 kind of thing, but I'm curious to see if they already set up a lot of people. Like, they already set up the new Wasp is going to happen with a daughter. They already set up Iron Man's kid. They already set up to be the new Iron Man, even though they're trying to like hint that we need a new Iron Man, so Spider-Man jump in. I was like, they don't have the same powers, they don't have the same type of like intelligence, like it's not going to work out. Whereas we know that Morgan definitely has the intelligence. We see it in the movie. So it's already set up for her. We're already set up for a new Hawkeye with the daughter of Burton. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that. I think this is all going to be in the phase 4, or the next phase is going to happen, which I'm so excited to see. So leave a comment below. Tell me what you thought about the movie. What were your favorite quotes in the movie? I personally love I am Iron Man. I love you 3000 every time. I can do this all day. When Captain America's like, I can do this all day. Like the old one, or the past one is like, I can do this all day. And Captain America's like, yeah, I know. You said this before, I know this, you know this. Like, it's a really like, God, I know. You know, so it's kind of, I love that part. Rocket's got a lot of, jabs at Thor, telling him it was like a melted ice cream. But I really loved it. I love my favorite characters like Thor and Hulk and Korg were all in it, and I love that they all lived. So, and really just grown as, I feel like everybody have grown over time. I feel like going to the past definitely shows you exactly who has improved or who has gone beyond who they were before, especially with Nebula and Captain America, who's fighting his younger self, and it's just I definitely know exactly what to do. I'm not fighting with bronze anymore. I'm actually fighting with my mind as well, which, as you can see in the elevator, when he goes in the elevator, you get the whole flashback of Winter Soldier's elevator scenes, oh shit, they're gonna fight them. But instead of fighting him, he's like, oh yeah, Hell Hydra. And they're like, oh yeah, cool, here's a bag. Just run with it. And so it's kind of cool that that was what happened. So yeah, so thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with me for this whole thing. I know it's like 18 minutes, 20 minutes now of this whole review, but I feel like it deserves that much. It deserves to be explained as much as possible. So thank you for watching. I'll see everybody in the next video, and I hope everybody has a great week. It's Friday tomorrow, so it's gonna be a weekend, but that's gonna be Friday picks for us. So I'll see you tomorrow. I hope everybody has a great week, and I'll see you next video.